up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Everyone's having a great day today. So I know you guys hate sit-downs as much as I do, but pretty much I had a really hard time coming up with something to upload today. So I actually came up with this last minute. I was actually on my way home from Hayden's house. We were coming up with some ideas about the Honda, which if things go as planned, we'll talk about a later date. We don't want to give too many details right now because everything's kind of up in the air at the moment, but I'll keep you guys updated because if things do go to plan, we'll bring it up, we'll talk about everything that is happening, and we'll go from there. But anyway, today's video is actually about an event that's coming up at the end of next month. If you guys are local to Atlanta or know of the show, which I wouldn't see how you wouldn't, because the biggest must-go-to show in the Southeast, which is Import Alliance Atlanta. And now everyone knows the show. It's historically known as Import Line by a lot of people, especially after last year's debacle, the entrance situation on the Saturday, which they fixed for the Sunday event. And the last couple of years I've gone, I've never been with my own truck. Usually the truck has stayed home for these events. I've usually ridden with either first year, which was Casey and Michael. We went with the G35 and the Taurus. Last year I went alone with Hayden in the S2000. This year we're taking the truck. So, since the S2000, which again, we'll talk about at a later date, isn't going this year, which is unfortunate because the thing is one of the only imports in the group. I'm talking to Michael about trying to get him to go and take the Speed 3 up this year, or down, because we live north of where Atlanta Speedway is. But anyway, that's all besides the point. So, today's video is on the truck, but this time we're not complaining about engines. I'm not talking about the engine project at all right now because I've milked that dry, and I don't really want to talk about it anymore until I have the block and all that stuff, and we go shopping for engine hoists. So, let's get on to today's video topic, which is, what all do I have in my to-do list or laundry list for Import Alliance this year? So, with this being the truck's first time going, there's a lot of things that the truck needs, and I want to get done and stuff like that to make it perfect. Now, I'm going to go through the things that are must-haves that I have perfect plans solidly in place for to have done. And then we'll get into things that I could have done, but probably won't, depending on time constraints. So let's talk about the must-haves first. These are the things that I've talked about a lot for you guys, that you guys have seen me talk about and talk endlessly about, and that is the exhaust setup, first and foremost. So I've had a set of DNA motoring short tube headers for the truck for about a year, and I've never installed them because I quite frankly don't want to deal with putting them on, because I don't want to deal with snapping bolts in the block. So, I've been waiting until I've had the chance to take the truck in the shop to have it done, as well as the extremely amazing just mounting welds that they have on them. They're not even welded properly. So, I'll have the guys, at whatever shop I take it to, re-weld up the spots and fix the welding situation that they really didn't do a very great job of. And then we'll go from there, have the headers put on. Obviously, we'll have the stock cats back on so I can still pass emissions. Some people are going to think that's ridiculous and I should just take them off and run catless. But I have emissions in my state and they actually check for it. So, especially where I go, they check for a catalytic converter. So, they're going to stay on and be completely functional. And plus, it'll help take out RASP because I hate RASP. I've got a TrueFlow X pipe, which will be set up with those stock catalytic converters, and we'll go back to my MagnaFlow race mufflers. And obviously, those are going to need an adapter to be able to fit right because those are 2.5 inch mufflers, and I have 2 1/4 inch piping for everything else. So it is going to be a bit of a pain. But once everything's in, we'll have a completed new exhaust set for the truck. I've got my 2 powder-coated black tips ready to go for it. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to have it done. It's going to be one of the most amazing setups I can think of. It's going to be completely one-off to it. It should be, in theory, one of the only sport tracks, if not the only Gen 1 sport track to be running a MagnaFlow exhaust on it. And be a MagnaFlow race instead of like the really quiet MagnaFlows that MagnaFlow is pretty much known for. Hint, hint, Michael's Taurus. But anyway, that's the big thing that I want done, and it is going to be a must-be-done kind of deal. It's going to be a must-have. And pretty much I have plans to get the truck in the shop on March 13th. Hopefully we don't get blizzarded in, because we're supposed to have a blizzard around, some point during March here, which is going to be interesting to say the least. So hopefully that doesn't happen the week of Import Alliance or the week that the truck's in the shop. I'll be getting also the valve cover gaskets replaced, which has been a huge issue for me. It's been my oil leak that I've had ever since I got it. And you can literally watch it leak because it's not a really like flowy leak. Like I literally only have to put about half a quart into the truck each oil change interval, which is really good for if you have to have an oil leak. I'm not burning it. I'm not getting blow by or anything, which is really nice. At least to my understanding. But from there, the power steering rack, which is the other leak the truck has, and needs to get dealt with. Eventually, I'm going to do the diff because the diff does have some saturation, but that's going to be at a later date since it's not leaking yet. Anyway, once that all is dealt with, the next must-have are the headlights. You guys know I've had a setup for a custom set of headlights for a good bit now. I got the housings and the projectors for Christmas. I got the bulbs recently, as well as the adapter harnesses and stuff like that to make everything work properly. It's been a huge pain in the balls to get everything taken care of, but we're finally ready to actually build them. Now the dilemma is, first off, I got to clean up where these black housing lights go bad, which is the clear coat issue on the main housing. They yellow out, they get all gross. So I'm going to pretty much, while the headlights are being built, re-clear coat them, make sure that everything is done right where they aren't going to fade out and yellow out like the ones I have on the truck now. Like literally I've had those on for 3 years and they've already turned into garbage. Granted, the truck stays outside a lot, so that might have a lot to do with it. I feel like if I'd been able to keep it in the garage, they probably wouldn't be quite as bad as they are now, but that is something to note if you're going to get one. I have a whole video dedicated to that, so check that out on the top right hand corner of this video. But we're going to build those lights finally, and it's going to be great. I can't wait to have them all done because it has been nagging me forever that these lights have not been done. From there, obviously, the halos will be installed, all that stuff, and we'll have a really nice set of retrofitted headlights for the truck. The goal is to turn the halos into the blinkers, which will be really cool looking. I can't wait to have it done, like I said. I'm still looking for the clear markers. I can't seem to find them. Everyone's like, oh, look on eBay. And I go on eBay and I can't find them. So if you guys have a link to those that you guys can post in the comments for me, let me know because I'd like to be able to find those and have those ready for the go for the truck because I really like those like white markers instead of the amber. And then we're going to move on to the things I would like to have done but probably won't. So with my main focus being on the exhaust and the headlights, obviously the rest of the door handles, I have 3 gloss black door handles ready for it that probably aren't going to get put on in time for Import Alliance unless my dad and I just get a free day or two where we feel like doing it. Pretty much from there, the last thing I want to get taken care of is I want to do some minor paint work because the truck, in terms of paint, in certain spots is fantastic. The driver's side of the truck, the fenders, both front fenders are actually really, really good shape. The back fenders are good, but could use some work, especially where around the bottom of the fenders near the doors, the back doors, because there's some rock chipping and stuff like that. The front bumper is in really rough shape thanks to a scrape on the front, as well as a huge chunk that was taken in the middle of it, which we touched up before. That was there when I got it. The tailgate's got a huge dent in it, and it just needs to be patched up. The trim on the passenger side doors is whiting out somehow, so I'm guessing it's losing paint. So Advanced sells, at least they did when I worked there, these little spray paint cans that match to your color. And my plan was to get one of those, mask it off, and do some light work on those spots that have minor damage. Nothing crazy. Obviously I'm not respraying the whole truck with a rattle can. But to clean up spots like those trim pieces that are whiting out, or touch-ups on the fenders where there's rock chips, obviously my tailgate and my scrape on the front bumper. Because eventually I'm going to get the truck resprayed, but I feel like it'd be great just to touch up and clean up everything and try to make it more presentable. Because I feel like it's part of why my build gets so much slack is it looks ragged, it looks ratchet. Due to how much paint damage it is. Obviously, stuff like the hood and the roof are not going to be really things I can fix. Eventually, I probably either will wrap or respray the roof and the hood with the truck whenever it does get completely redone. Which, thanks to this whole engine build, is going to be a little bit later on. So, I guess I can. The last thing I can talk about is I can give you guys a time frame on everything. So, like I said, the truck will be going in the shop for the exhaust as well as the gaskets and string rack on the 13th. So I know you guys are probably going to be pissed off that I'm not doing any sort of valve cover gasket install video because a lot of people, it's a very common issue in these trucks for them to go bad, but I don't want to deal with it. My dad doesn't want to deal with it, so we're like, screw it, let the shops take care of it, and that's that. The same thing with the string rack. We just didn't want to deal with it. We were just like, y'all deal with it. I don't want to touch it. So that's that. From there, obviously I've got camber bolts to install. I've got to get it aligned because the camber wear is taking out another tire now, so I got to get that dealt with. Probably before IA, depending how bad it is. I probably take it IA on the bad tire, but probably won't. Would not like to because that's a good bit of a drive. But and that's part of what kept me away last year was the tire going bad. But Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. So, like I said, we'll have videos coming out and everything. Oh, timeline on the engine stuff, too. I know I said I was going to talk about it, but I'm going to briefly touch up on it. So, we won't be getting started with that until post-IA. So, once Import Alliance is all done and dealt with, once the truck is at where I'd like to say ready to start working on another engine project, me and possibly Hayden are probably going to go to Harbor Freight, pick up engine stands, as well as I would need some tools, because I got a toolbox that literally just has a swivel and a light. That's literally all I have. So I'm going to need a spare set of tools, because I don't want to have to use my dad's tools for everything and possibly lose his stuff. And I'd rather have my own set, that in case if I do lose something, I'm not freaking out over my dad, because my dad is very meticulous about his tools. But that's that. We'll have a vlog on everything like that coming soon when that happens. But that's why I'm giving you the timeline on this, because I don't want you guys to be like, oh, when are you getting started on the engine? When's the engine coming? When's the engine coming? When's the engine coming? That way you guys know when the engine's coming and when we can get started. Because I do have my eyes on a block that hopefully will be for sale still. Probably won't be in a month. But if it is, we'll snag it. It's really cheap. So I would buy it now if I could. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap things up here. Hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I'll see you guys on Monday with a brand new video. See you guys next time. Have a good one, everyone.